What are we making today?
Well, this is something I've made already, so I want to talk about this. And then we'll make something using this. I made this 2 days ago, and I usually just use whatever is there at the time that I'm making it. So I wrote it down because I knew I would forget. It's garlic paste, and I always have garlic paste in my fridge. This garlic paste is different from the one that I usually make. Usually it is either garlic that's blended with just plain koji, or it's garlic and miso blended together, and I use them both for cooking. First I'll show you the label of what this looks like. It's got a salt called Pissun Loon, and I think that's how it's pronounced. But this is the salt, and it is flavored salt from Uttarakhand. It's made with a bunch of different spices, seeds, green garlic, chilies, and things like that. This salt went into this with the garlic in the blender jar, and some miso. So I transferred miso from another jar into this jar, the chickpea miso. Stuff that was stuck in the other jar, I just added some water kefir to it, which is here, and then poured it into the blender. It still needed a little bit more liquid. I was making this at the same time. I used this. Now this is barley, honey, koji, and water that is fermenting. So this was just a big jar of honey that once the stuff had been poured out, it had solidified at the bottom. To get it out, I had added some water to this. Some of that honey water was added into the barley cooking water, and then I also added some koji to it. And you can see the bits of koji that are floating about, lifting some of the solids from the bottom. I put it in anything that I want to thicken, but it can also be mixed with some nice orangey lemon, or we'll do that after this. Chickpea miso water kefir water went in to blend the garlic and the Pissun Loon. So this is the garlic paste. It smells nice and garlicky. It's reminding me of something that I can't. Smells very familiar. A little bit like spring onions or like something grassy, but I can't like put my finger on it. Got some sweetness, and yeah, just really nice. Taste. It's quite strong.
Wow. Super strong.
Super strong.
Salty.
But it mellows.
You know, it would be really good. Garlic bread.
Yeah, it would.
So good.
Should we make some?
What are you making now?
I'm making a Middle Eastern style dressing that you can take home with you. Okay, this is a blender jar thingy that I'm going to start putting everything into. I'm not measuring, I just go by eyeballs. This is dried mint that just lightly crushed so that it disperses properly. Good skills to have. I've just taken off like twigs and things like that. They won't blend properly, and then they'll just go into like your dressing, and it's just not a nice mouthfeel. I'm going to put in a little bit of this because I'm saving a tiny bit for the thing we'll make afterwards. I'm going to add some olive oil. Just regular extra virgin olive oil, nothing special stuff that I cook with. This you tasted and it's very strong, so I'm going to use a little bit, but okay, maybe a teaspoon. You like garlic.
But it's spicy.
It is spicy, but we're adding other ingredients too, so that'll mellow out. So I'm adding like about a heaped teaspoon. You can always add more if you wanted more garlicky. And then these are limes preserved in the salt liquid brine that was left from a previous batch of limes. So this is so old that it has solidified. You can see that. Solidified upside down. All the limes have released their pectin. This is definitely pre-pandemic. So this is like maybe 4 years old. Everything has turned into like a jelly,
It smells like kumquat.
yeah, it's basically like, look at that, it's just like jelly. I can take the whole thing out, and it's all that pectin from the limes. Cut it. It's like a jelly. I'll add some of this. We're not adding any salt because the garlic paste has salt. This is quite salty. There's acidity in this and the kefir that we're going to use. I'm not bothering to remove any of seeds from the limes. They'll just get blended. It'll add like an extra level of flavor in terms of bitterness. But if you're picky, you can. This is my weekly kefir jug. As you can see, it's been used. And so I have a little bit left and I'm gonna add that to that. You can see how it tastes once it's been blended, then adjust the flavors. This has been blended. Oh, I forgot to say about the mint. If you have fresh mint, feel free to use that. The dried mint is a nice, like strong, different flavor. It's also good. I will pour it into a jar.
How long will this last?
It will last 15-ish days. So use it up before that. It's very nice. Wait, I forgot to bring a spoon for you. Here. I would use this as like a dressing for roasted vegetables. My favorite is aubergine and courgettes that are air fried, and then drizzle this on top. But I would also use this in a shawarma or a falafel roll thing, and you just like drizzle a little bit on before you take each bite. That it just like brings everything together. Even just like roasted chicken or whatever you want, really. I mean, it's just good, strong flavors. So you can use it to elevate anything that you're eating. Not. This is what my grandmother would have done. So I feel obligated to do it. Also because it's been 12 years today that she passed on. So this is in tribute to how she would do it. So when she made things like chutneys and stuff in the blender, what she would do is always add like something into it, then wash it out using that, and then use that for something else. So one of the things that she would do is make buttermilk, as in buttermilk that's already made. She would flavor it with different things from the blender, and so that's kind of what I'm going to do. So there's a bit of stuff left over from this. So I'm going to add more kefir. Finish this off. The stuff that's left on the spoon just goes into that. Everything is wasted. That gets like washed off. And the tiny bit of the mint that we saved, if you have fresh, that tastes really, really refreshing. It's got enough lime, but I don't want to put any more in. You can also add some curry leaves, whatever you have. Any herbs, coriander. Coriander stems actually are really good in buttermilk. So I have some coriander root stem. Just make sure that all the grit and soil has been cleaned off it. And I'm just gonna break it up and stick it in there. And what I want to add because this is exactly what my grandmother would have done. This has ginger, garlic, some onion, very little just for flavor. Mustard seeds, it's a tempering / tadka. Coriander, cumin, curry leaves, mustard seeds, things like that. I blended this. I also forgot to say, but I add some water to make it drinkable. It's kind of cleaned out all the insides. Perfect.
Flavorful, right? And very fatty.
Yeah, that's the kefir and a little bit of the olive oil that's left from the thing. But also this was in ghee, but we only put in like very little. Very nice. It's got just that little bit of a hint of the preserved lime and the garlic and herby. It is fatty. It's got that what is that thing in Chinese where you get where you feel the gelatin on your, anyway, cut this out. Just like I drifted off, but I would like this like slightly saltier.
I knew you were gonna say that.
And slightly spicier, but this is good. It's very refreshing.
Cheers.
Mm.